Welcome to our presentation on mountain safety at Whitewater. Today we're going to review the Alpine Responsibility Code, the terrain, the signage you'll encounter, and the lifts here at Whitewater. The Alpine Responsibility Code are the rules for the slopes. They are in place to help keep yourself and those around you safe while enjoying your day on the mountain. It is every skier's and snowboarder's responsibility to know the 10 basic rules and to follow them. By doing your part, you can help ensure that everyone, including yourself, will have an enjoyable and safe day on the mountain. Rule number 1, always stay in control. You must be able to stop and avoid other people or objects. This is by far the most simple rule of them all. If you are not able to stop or avoid people or objects, then you are not in control. This doesn't mean you can't ski or ride fast. This means you need to adjust your speed according to the situation, such as when you're on green runs or in marked slow zones. Rule number 2. People ahead of you have the right of way. It is your responsibility to avoid them. This means that when you're traveling down a run, it is your responsibility to watch and avoid everyone that you see ahead of you. When you are traveling faster than others, be sure you take note of their route and give them a wide berth as you go past. Also, make it easier on others around you by skiing or riding in a predictable manner. Do not make erratic direction changes or traverse across the entire run. Number 3. Do not stop where you obstruct a trail or are not visible from above. Everyone, not just snowboarders, are often guilty of this. When you need to stop on a run, first, be sure that you move all the way to the side. This will take you out of the main traffic flow. Next, look uphill and look downhill. Can you see a long distance in each direction? If not, such as in the picture here, then you are in a poor location. Being able to see uphill and downhill means that others on the run will be able to see you and be able to avoid you. Number 4. Before starting downhill or merging onto a trail, look uphill and yield to others. This is very important, especially when you're on a cat track that goes across many runs. Each time you come to an intersection or begin to head downhill after stopping to rest, you need to look up and see if there's anyone coming. If not, you're free to go. If there is, you need to determine how fast they are going, how close they are to you, and if you will have enough time and space to enter the run safely without affecting their travels. At Whitewater, almost all our green and blue runs have many merge points and cat tracks, so you should be constantly aware of these situations. Your ski or snowboard pro will often point out each time you need to look uphill. Number 5. If you are involved in or witness a collision or accident, you must remain at the scene and identify yourself to ski patrol. This is especially important, as ski patrol will want to know how the accident occurred and whose fault, if anyone's, it was. Number 6 says always use proper devices to help prevent runaway equipment. Runaway equipment is very dangerous to people downhill, as equipment will gain speed very quickly and if it hits someone, will likely cause major injuries. For skiers, these are the brakes that are on your bindings. They will automatically come down when your boot comes out of the binding during a fall and stop the ski from sliding down the hill. You need to be sure these are in good working condition each time you go skiing. For snowboarders, your device is called a leash, and it often does not come with your bindings. The leash is only needed on your front foot, one attached to your binding and the other clipped to your boot. This way, if you ever need to take off your board while on the side of the mountain, it will not slide down. Please be reminded that the lift operator does have the right to refuse you, skier or snowboarder, from loading the lift if they notice that you do not have the proper safety equipment. Number 7 is observe and obey all posted signs and warnings. There are numerous signs you will come across while on the ski hill. These 3 you see pictured here by far are the most critical signs to know. Closed, avalanche danger. Do not cross this sign when you see it. It means that ski patrol has determined it is unsafe to be in that area. There is a high probability that you will trigger an avalanche if you enter this area, or you will be directly in the path of an avalanche should one start higher up on the mountain. Further, ski patrol may be conducting avalanche control using explosives. Our patrol team takes this extremely seriously. If you are caught in a closed avalanche zone, you will have your skiing or riding privileges revoked. The second sign says caution, avalanche danger. This is the same sign as the closed one, just folded in half. When ski patrol has determined the area to be safe, they will fold the closed sign in half and you'll see the yellow side. This means the terrain is now open, but that you should be aware that you are entering avalanche terrain and that avalanches are still possible. Lastly, ski area boundary, not patrolled. These signs are placed along the entire boundary line of the resort. They are always visible, whether the boundary is a wide open groomed run or it is deep in the forest. They are often accompanied by a rope line. It is impossible to leave the boundary without knowing that you have crossed this line. Once beyond these signs, you are on your own. There will be no ski patrol out there should you happen to get injured, get stuck in a tree well, or any other situation. Regardless of your skills, abilities, or knowledge of the surroundings, when you are at Whitewater with your school group, you are not permitted to leave the ski area boundary. These are some examples of a few other signs you may come across during your visit to Whitewater. Take the time to get familiar with them when you come across them so that you know exactly what they are referring to. Number 8 is related to number 7. It says keep off closed trails and closed areas. If a run is closed, you will see signs posted at the top of the run. A ski run can be closed for a number of reasons. This could include avalanche danger, not enough snow, hazards such as fallen trees, grooming machines, or other equipment on the slope, or any number of other reasons. When you see a closed sign, regardless of how good the run may look from the top or how many tracks you see going down it, just know that Ski Patrol does not like closing runs, but that they have closed the run for a reason as they believe there is a hazard to you or someone else. We have 81 marked runs at Whitewater, so there will always be plenty of other options to choose from. Number 9 is another simple one, and it's geared mostly for adults, but you should know it anyways. You must not use the lifts or terrain if your ability is impaired through the use of drugs or alcohol. And finally, number 10. You must have sufficient physical dexterity, ability, and knowledge to safely load, ride, and unload the lifts. If in doubt, ask the lift attendant. More plainly, it says that before you try to go up a chairlift, you should be confident and comfortable with your movements and your equipment while on flat ground so that you can safely get yourself on and off the chair. Your instructors will teach you how to ride the lift safely, and if you are ever in doubt, you can always ask the lift attendant or any other person you see wearing a Whitewater uniform. They will be more than happy to help you out. Please remember, these are big machines, and using them safely is extremely important. With that, when riding the chairlift, there are a number of steps to follow. Our lifts are older at Whitewater and have a few quirks that you may or may not be used to. There are specific steps that need to be taken when you enter the lift line, when you head towards the loading point, when you load the chair, when you ride up, and when you unload. Your instructor will go through these with you in detail when you are at the resort, and the sign you see here on this picture is present at each chair. Whitewater uses the North American Standard classification for ski runs. Be aware that ski run difficulty is relevant to the specific area, so a blue run at one ski area may not be the same as a blue run at another ski area. Green runs are the easiest terrain offered at the resort. They are geared towards beginners and therefore will likely have many people that may not be as skilled at skiing or riding yet. When traveling on a green run, be sure to adjust your speed accordingly and give others lots of room. Blue runs are the next level up and are of intermediate difficulty. They may or may not be groomed at Whitewater. People skiing on these runs are often a very wide mix of ability levels. Again, be sure to adjust your speed and match the average speed of those around you. Also, if you are just moving up to blue runs from green runs, remember that you are going to encounter faster skiers in varying conditions. If you are not ready for this, stick to the green runs or find blue runs that have the least amount of traffic. Black and double black runs are for advanced and expert level skiers. You should be comfortable negotiating steep terrain in varied conditions. Whitewater does not groom any of its black or double black runs. You will often encounter moguls, powder, unmarked hazards, or heavily treed terrain. This is the Silver King chair, and it offers access to a wide variety of terrain, including all of our green runs. We groom a large number of the runs on this side. You should be comfortable skiing or riding the blue runs and able to load and unload this lift at full speed without assistance before you try going to the other chairs. This is the Summit chair, and it accesses intermediate, advanced, and expert level terrain only. There are no green runs on this side. As you can see, it also has extensive avalanche closure locations, and the vast majority of our terrain is gladed or forested. Do not attempt to ski or ride on this side until you are at minimum comfortable on groomed blue terrain. The Glory Ridge side is also for intermediate, advanced, and expert level skiers only. There is also no green runs on this side. The blue runs on this side, however, are slightly easier than those of the Summit chair. There are also great areas to learn how to ski gladed terrain, as the trees often have very wide spacing. Be aware, though, that the terrain is vast and is on the opposite side of the mountain from the lodge. A round trip from the day lodge can take anywhere between 30 minutes and 1 hour, so plan accordingly if you only have a limited amount of time before or after your lesson. This concludes our mountain safety presentation. Thanks very much for listening, and we'll see you on the mountain.